Hello teacups, what's brewing? So today it's a react to Chantal, but not to a video. She hasn't actually uploaded any videos, but she's had a nice old time on her community tab. So we're going to be looking through. Now, I should say this is still an updating situation because she seems to be getting more annoyed. And actually, while I was trying to clip and cut all the pictures that I'm going to try and put into this video, she updated again, and we'll discuss it at the end of the video where she went from. Let's go back to the beginning, we'll discuss it and see where we are by the end. I don't think anyone's shocked at the current course of events, but damn, what a shame. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with. So 3 days ago, Chantal went and got her hair done by a hairdresser. It was one-to-one, it was in I think her home or an area or something. And she mentioned that in the last video she uploaded, that she was going to go get it done. And I was excited for her. She had also said that she had got a new order from Pennington, so she got some new clothes. We've been discussing her new clothes here. And at whatever size, I'm always happy to see people find things that make them feel good, that make them feel confident in how they look. So I was happy for her to go and get her hair done and feel good about herself. I mentioned I hope that the hairdresser knew how to work with people with hair thinning, because I didn't want her to be uncomfortable, Chantal to be uncomfortable getting her hair done, or for it to turn out in a way she wouldn't enjoy. But I'm going to put a picture up here. She got her hair done and she was really pleased with it. She showed a few close-ups on Instagram and on her community tab of kind of, she got some highlights put in just around here. Her hair looks much thicker, having been to the hairdresser, whether she can maintain it or not, but it looks pretty, you guys. It definitely looks healthier and shinier, and it looks more manageable. It's a little bit shorter, it's like a bob. Really pretty, really pleased. So she uploaded just saying, hey guys, hey, I got my hair done, darker brown with caramelish highlights throughout with a bob kind of cut, lol. Anyways, I love it, great. I wasn't able to get a vlog for you guys tonight, but I will be back soon. XO, love you guys. So her tone seems very happy, nothing seems particularly awry. And she's happy with herself, and all the more reason to make a video while you're looking good and feeling good, right? And remember, she's not starved for content right now, which she sometimes is. But she had any footage she had from her dad's barbecue, which I'm assuming she took. She might not have, but I was assuming she took. She was planning on giving us a Pennington's haul. She had footage from having done her hair. She had a few things in place that could have allowed her to give us content. So the next update we got from her was another picture. Sorry, I'm just switching it on my computer, and I'll put it up here. Just saying, hey, another quick look at my new hair. New video being filmed today and will be posted tomorrow. I believe that was either later or the following day. She's wearing a different outfit in this picture, so I think for her it might have been the following day. So for whatever reason, she didn't get her video edited. Now this isn't necessarily at this point, we'll move on, but isn't necessarily a point of concern, because to be completely honest guys, she struggles so much to move, she struggles so much to walk, she struggles so much to breathe, that I can 100% believe that the strain on her body of getting up, getting ready, going out to the hairdresser, getting it done and coming back would have exhausted her. And as sad as that is, physically I think that would have exhausted her. So, and she's not a particularly dedicated person. I can also believe she'd get home just like, I don't want to. We didn't get a video, whatever. At this point, nothing is awry. Then, and this was a cause of concern for me, she posted a seemingly innocuous link to someone she'd been watching. Will Tennyson, I don't know who he is, I didn't watch the video. But this was 2 days ago, saying, been binge watching Will Tennyson. He's a fellow Canadian with the best personality. He is naturally funny in a non-obnoxious way, and used to be overweight as well. So obviously he's now lost weight. And I think it's kind of nice that she's looking for inspiration beyond mukbang. He is now a fitness inspiration, and I love his style and videos. Now, the one thing she's not doing right now is fitness. She did say she was going to do her stairs, but actually, given the state her body is in with her chest pain, her high blood pressure, the pressure on her frame, I would actually be okay with her not doing exercise because I don't think it's safe at her weight and focusing on her food. But it does worry me a little when she starts looking at people who incorporate a lot of fitness in their routine and thinking maybe I can use his routine without the fitness. It's kind of like when Amber Lynn would reference high carb, I think it was Amber Lynn, would reference high carb Hannah. And I don't watch, I think her name's high carb Hannah. I don't watch her either. But as I understand it, she does a lot of exercise. So including a lot of carbohydrates in her diet makes sense because she burns them, which would not be the case with Chantal. Check out his various videos if you like this kind of content. XO, see you guys soon. And the video is I tried the carnivore diet for a week. With the inevitability of the tide, this appears to be turning. So the reason that worried me quite a lot is because Chantal infamously does not think a lot of the carnivore diet. And to be fair, carnivore is a really extreme restricted version of keto, where you're literally just eating meat, essentially meat, and I believe some eggs. I looked at it briefly and was just like, nah, not for me. And I'm someone who's done low carb for long periods of time. Not low carb right now, but I'm also not high carb. So carnivore, something so restrictive, I didn't think that was a good idea, but more to the point, she only ever considers it when she wants fast food. Because to her, carnivore or keto or low carb means I can go to the fast food place and I can take off the bun and I can eat the things I want to eat. I can eat cheese, I can eat burgers. And it's one of the reasons in the past I have said, well, give it a try. Because when she was absolutely determined to include fast food, that would be a way that potentially she could a little. Now, since then, I really don't think she's capable of having any fast food in her diet and still being successful. I genuinely think it's such a trigger for her. But if she genuinely refused to avoid it, that would be the way to do it. And I was concerned enough about that I left a comment, which to my shock and surprise is still there. Usually she deletes everything. There's also only like 11 comments on this, which makes me think she has been deleting stuff, but I've no proof, so there we go. But my comment, which I'll put here, I'm glad you're finding inspiration, but please don't let this lead to you going carnivore. Stay steady with the progress you're making. And that was the comment, and I meant it as a supportive thing. Because we all know how Chantal's mind works, and we all know when she begins to try to justify eating the things she wants to eat, she then looks for a diet plan that will match that. And she does that again and again. And even within the month I've been reacting just over, we have seen evidence of that. We've seen her with her bunless baconator in her car. So then we move on and things begin to escalate slightly. So this one we have one day ago. Initially, this is the old picture that she was saying, oh, new video being filmed will be posted tomorrow. And then she edited that a day ago to say, I've decided I need some time away. Oh. You guys, no, don't do it. I will aim to be back to regular, if not daily or near daily uploads next week. So at this point, she still thinks it's going to be a blip. She thinks at the moment. I'm going through some difficult transitions and just need a bit of time. Thanks, guys. Now, for another person, that maybe I hadn't so clearly seen their history of. I would say that would be a fair comment, because sometimes you are just angry at the world and you can't fake it, and you don't want to be overly negative because you know that this change is for the best. And so you're like, you know what, rather than having the pressure of switching it on from the camera, I'm going to get through these few difficult days when I am genuinely struggling with cravings, and I'm going to move on. To be clear, I don't think this is what she did. Like, guys, I try to be positive on this channel. I try to be optimistic. I try to be hopeful. And most of all, I try to support her when she's trying to do the thing. Even if I don't always agree with how she's trying to do the thing, don't get me wrong. When it's metaphysical food vibration horseshit, I will call her on it. But after she had the blip with the pizza, that could legitimately just be a blip. She could have, and did appear to be making plans to, just continue on with what she was doing. It would have been okay. Like, okay, maybe that day she would have eaten all the calories she needed to maintain, but she could have seen a net loss for the week. Because remember, we're getting closer to weigh-in day now. She weighed in, I want to say, about 5 days ago. She owed us a weigh-in quite soon. And I say owed us before anyone goes, I don't owe you anything. She had planned to give us regular weigh-ins. So I'm going by what she promised us, not what she owed us. And I genuinely, at this point, I think this is the point she started binging. And I think at this point, just having been through it myself, she probably thought, well, I'll stay off the internet for a few days. I'll have this thing, and then I'll do a crazy diet where I drink lots and lots of water and I don't eat very much, and I just won't show them. And then by the time it gets to weigh-in, I would have undone the damage that I've done, and it'll even out, and I'll, look, no, I've been on track this whole time. Because, guys, she isn't the first, she won't be the last. I've done it myself. You start going into kind of damage control mode where you're like, okay, well, I want the thing and I've had the thing, but what can I do because weigh-in's coming? Yeah? So this is the point where she kind of lost it, in my humble opinion. And then, so I saw that. And at that point, I was going to make a video and be like, I'm very concerned about where she is mentally right now. I think she's probably binging because these are the hallmarks of her binges. We then move on to this. What do I want? I'm going to put it up on screen for you. Hey guys, I'm kind of depressed about some things regarding my channel, and I just want to take the time to write what is on my mind as it pertains to my content. At this point, I don't even need to get further than this because god damn, we all know where it's going. I filmed a video today. It was a weight loss vlog of counting macros and an Amazon haul of sugar-free shit. Don't tell Pete's. I was editing it. I know many of you would like this kind of video, but I just don't. I believe that video exists. I also believe she binged her face off in between it, and that's why she now doesn't want to upload it, because she's done something unrecoverable before weigh-in. I find weight loss journey content, at least making my own, very boring, very tedious, and honestly depressing and triggering. Which is strange because she was talking about all the support and how it helps, and she had such great hopeful plans. She was saying all the right things in the last video, in the sense of not just repeating the stuff she said before, but genuinely like looking at other hobbies and at the very least attempting to take into account some of the stuff the community was saying to her. Now, this isn't the first time she's done it. Guys, it ain't my first rodeo. I know that people tend to think I'm a bit naive because I try to be optimistic where I can be. I've been here before with her. Yeah, I know. I was happy when I first started my channel because I didn't have people criticizing what I do like they do now. I didn't talk about my weight at all. I now find myself in an endless cycle in my own life, and also now on my channel, of on and off that was a bit hard, of on and off weight loss journey material because I get tired and bored of it, then go back to mukbangs or whatever, then back to weight loss attempts because I feel pressured as a fat girl to prove something to my critics and not to myself, which is really all that matters. There's a lot to unpack in that, okay? But number one, when you started mukbangs, you were heavier, but you looked visibly more healthy than you do now. So what I've done is I've taken a screenshot from her first mukbang video, which was done in February 2017. And I've also taken a screenshot from her last video she did, the one where she was eating the bagel. I've chosen that video because I'm not going to sit here and troll her by finding the worst angled shot I can in a recent video. I'm not going to grab the shot from her car when she was huffing and puffing after the grocery and she felt so fat and she felt terrible. Because when you do that, it's not a fair comparison from when she was sitting carefully shot, fully made up in her first mukbang video. I want a like for like comparison. So I've taken the most recent photo I can from a video, I should say, not a photo, because she tends to edit her photos and I don't know what's been photoshopped and what hasn't, what's been cut out and what hasn't. So I've taken a screenshot from a video. The aging, you can see there, the biological aging of her body goes so far beyond the 3 years between these photos. So yes, you were happy in the beginning. You were also a lot healthier in the beginning. And you didn't talk about your weight. And you seem to keep blaming this. I know you have some real regrets on being, ironically considering you do lie a lot, but being as honest as you were about the issues you have with food, because it opened you up for all these criticisms. But honey, two things. One, the genie is out of the bottle. There's no taking that back. We now all know. So that does open you up for a massive amount of criticism because you're still doing it 3 years later. But two, if you had never told us, look at the difference between those photos. We have eyes. We can see what this is doing to you. And if you hadn't told us, if you hadn't confirmed it, do you honestly think we wouldn't still be having this conversation? The downward slide in your health has been obvious. And you're never going to be able to go back in time, no matter how much you scrub your comments, no matter how much you scrub your videos, you privatize them, you try to strike channels that show them. The genie is out of the bottle, there's no going back. And then secondly, I feel pressured as a fat girl to prove something to my critics and not to myself. Every time anyone on any, let's say Amberlynn and her, because I don't watch the other two really enough to comment, don't have an answer for why they haven't taken their personal responsibility to themselves seriously. They throw it out as a bigger social issue. Well, I shouldn't have to edit myself and I'm judged because I'm fat. And it's a problem with society. And there is a problem within society of that, but that's not the reason you get judged. Chantal gets judged because she comes in crying and complaining and saying how much she wants to change and then doing this. She gets judged for her inconsistencies that are actively killing her. I know how harsh that sounds. But look at her right now. She's 400 pounds. She can't do a full set of stairs without collapsing at the bottom. Despite, like, one of the comments that someone left, they were like, they said something about the stairs. She was like, I can climb the stairs. Hey, you filmed it. We have eyes. We remember that. There's no erasing that from us. We saw you go up the stairs, collapse at the bottom, and then have to need a break of heavy, heavy breathing. Yeah? It was a workout for you. I feel like a fat, obedient girl wind-up toy when I do weight-related materials. That's such a line of crap. I know she has massive authority issues, I know, and she considers essentially the entirety of her non-completely positive commenters to be the metaphorical equivalent of a dad that's telling her she has to stop. She is the ultimate teenager. Going, I don't want to. I feel like I'm giving in. I feel like I am being compliant. I feel hated if I don't. All of those things are true. Although when you say giving in to what? A healthier life? Like, what resistance are you a part of right now? Viva la resistance! I will not eat healthier. I will not save my own life. How dare you? I will fight you to the bitter end. Jesus, I feel like I'm giving in. What banner are you flying here? I feel like I'm being compliant. Sweetheart, I wish you were being compliant. I wish, because again, it might save your goddamn life. I feel hated if I don't. You get a lot of hate. You get a lot of criticism when you don't. Because people hate seeing you kill yourself. Because despite what you think and despite what would be easier to believe, most of us are not here to see that. Most of us started out at the very least wanting you to do well, and some of us still want that. I'm sorry if my words are disappointed. Can words be disappointed? I'm assuming you mean disappointing. But I feel like I've been holding in a huge fart. Thank you for that. And needed to let it out. Just once, I would like to get through a conversation without a reference to farts. Just once. I feel like I am not being genuine. I will tell you what I want and wish for, but I am not as naive anymore and know that people like to hate on us big girls. Again, throw it out to society instead of any personal responsibility. On not losing weight for you all, so cue the failure comments. Honey, I'm not the one in process of having a heart attack. I'm not the one who can't breathe. I'm not the one who was on camera ashamed of themselves because they couldn't walk 2 blocks to view their apartment. I'm not the one crying, almost crying in my car because someone called me huge in French. I'm not the one sitting at my kitchen island telling everybody that fast food is gonna bury me. I'm not the one you do this for. You are the one who brought that. And yes, you regret it because you haven't lived up to the expectations you yourself set for yourself. That's not on us. So let's see what these failure comments are. This is quite the list. To have an online presence and not talk about my weight. You started that discussion, you can end that discussion. Quite frankly, if I thought for a second you could stick to it, at this point I might say, okay, do it. If you're determined, do it, but never speak of it again. It will never happen. She has promised this many times. To not be shamed for what I eat. If you're ashamed of your food, it's because you know better. To not be weight shamed. Some people do weight shame her. I'd rather they didn't. But she brings her weight into it and then eats the way she eats and expects people not to mention it. That being said, because I do want to be fair to her here, there are people that are very cruel to her and do just say some things. Yeah, they comment some horribly nasty things. And so do I agree with that? No. But you make your weight. And the fact, even when you don't make it a topic of discussion, it's such an obviously negative part of your life. People are going to comment on it, so long as you give them content to comment on. To not have people equate being obese and failing at diets with moral inadequacies. That's okay, sweetheart, I don't. The moral inadequacies are all you. To have fun with my content, again, all you. I think it would be fun to live a healthier life that where you could go and do things without worrying about collapsing. I think that would be fun. I don't think getting to it would be fun, but how much fun you choose to have with your content is down to you. Now, if you're saying the only fun thing you do is food, that's a bigger problem in your life you need to address. I want to make travel videos. What the fuck's stopping you? Do it. Although, again, considering, as we've mentioned, there's only one seat on that plane, I would imagine travel videos would be a lot easier for you at a lower weight. I want the right to work on my weight and personal issues offline. You have that right. You have always had that right. You bring it online, not us. No one's got a gun to your head. You want the views, and in saner moments, you want to be better than you are. You want to live an easier, healthier life. But unfortunately, you don't accept that easier and healthier do not always go together. I want to do food reviews. Again, you just said you were doing a review on sugar-free or whatever. What's stopping you from doing food reviews? I want to do spooky things. What the fuck has that got to do with your food? Do spooky things, you still do them. I want to eat a cheeseburger without 59,392 people reacting to it. Tough. I want to show Sam and BB Junes in every video on the counter. Oh, did my request for some basic hygiene hit a nerve? Yeah. You can show it and I can hate it. And that's the way life is. I want to fart when I want to. You can do it and I can hate it. And that's the way life is. I want to do whatever content I feel like doing. You can do it and I can hate it. And that's the way life is. It goes on. This was the longest comment ever. And I realized, considering the length of this video, that's quite the hypocritical thing to say. But Jesus. I take responsibility for my part in my channel direction being a mess because I don't have a backbone to just do what I want with my videos, which is kill herself with food. That's what she wants to do here. And this whole thing, I want. You're not a fucking toddler. Yeah? You're not a fucking toddler. You can want it. I think all of us in the world would want to be able to say, I want to do what I want and there to be no consequence. I think that's a natural thing. I don't want consequences in my life. However, unfortunately, it's not reality. And if you say you want A and you also say you want B, but those two things are in direct opposition with each other, you've got to make a choice. And given that one of those choices results in your early death, I think maybe you should rethink the choice you're making. I can't keep trying to please everyone. I don't think you've been pleasing anyone. You haven't been happy in your videos, we haven't been happy with your videos. I see criticism about my weight and what I do and what I eat, and it makes me want to conform. Psst, the fuck it does. When you see criticism, you want to rebel. That is the teenager in you that never matured. You want to do what you want and you don't care what people say. And if they say it, you're just going to do it more. That's what you want. It makes me want to conform to what every other weight loss channel is doing. What, lose weight? Please do. Even when deep down I hate it. Now, I'm okay with that as a comment in the sense of, I hate doing weight loss. The underlying, under all this shit, under all this immaturity, under all this childishness, the idea of, I hate what I have to do to be able to do this, is one I can actually, even now, as frustrated as I am, kind of sympathize with. Nobody likes it. If you are morbidly obese and you're told, in order to not be that way, you have to give up things that you like. Nobody likes that. With time, it becomes more worthwhile because you start to see the beneficial effects it's having. But you never get to that point because you quit and you quit and you quit. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance. Because you've tried, 4, 5 different ways of doing this since I started reacting? just over a month ago, this is the closest you got to a week. You got to, the end of day 4? And that was with the pizza blip. I can't be a macro counting, low carb eating weight loss channel or any kind of weight loss channel. To be clear, you can be, you choose not to be. Now, I do think there's a connection both with her and with society as a whole, I guess, where we say, if we say count your macros, we mean go low carb. And that doesn't have to be the case. You can choose a calorie limit, a reasonable calorie limit, and accept that however you spend those calories, be them on carbs, be them on other foods, they cannot include fast food because you cannot handle it. It triggers you to fuck. So choose a calorie limit, accept that a hard and fast rule is it can't include fast food, and do that. And to an extent, don't worry about your macros. Done. But the idea that there's any type of diet, any type of healthy eating where you don't have to at least be aware of what you're taking in, it doesn't exist. It genuinely doesn't. I don't really know what else to say. I actually love being a YouTuber despite the hate because I have a core audience of supporters who loves anything I do. You do, and they're useless to you. They'll come on and they'll tell you you look pretty and fuck the haters and you do what you want and eat some more. But they are useless to you for anything but ego. And I'm really mad at myself for being influenced by the opinion of others in a lot of ways. Honey, we couldn't influence you if we tried, and we've tried. I could be sitting here hitting you with a stick and you still wouldn't goddamn move. You wouldn't. You're not influenced by anyone but yourself. I know I'm obese. Well, yeah. What I also know is that I have no obligation to explain myself or talk about if I will do anything with my weight. You are under no obligation. That's actually true. You're under no obligation. But you did it, and the genie can't go back in the bottle. In turn, this is such crap. I promise, capital letters, I promise not to talk about it anymore on my channel because I realize this is frustrating to viewers. And for this, I apologize. I do not accept your apology because it's blatantly a lie because you can't help yourself. Yeah? I accept that in this moment you think you're going to do it. Just like in any moment you ever promise anything, you think you're going to do it. But you're not going to, let's be real. This does not mean I will be doing lazy videos of just ordering food every video and eating. I'm going to clip that and we're going to see how long it takes. I will carefully plan content for you guys. This actually made me laugh. From travel vlogs and day trips, to random vlogs, to cooking, to mysteries and paranormal, night drives, food reviews, etc. See you guys the next video. All of the things she has listed there, she was planning to do while healthy eating. All this thing, I want to do the content I enjoy. Let's be honest here. That is 100% I want to eat the food I enjoy. That is what that means. I won't do lazy content. Well, you're certainly not doing well thought out content because this is the same shit you recycle any time on your channel where you know people are gonna look at you pretty funny if you do mukbangs. You never have anything other than this. Yeah, she doesn't have the imagination to come up with anything else. And the things that maybe she could think of, she's not willing to put the effort into making them work. So she promises the same shit, whether she is healthy eating, whether she is mukbanging. These are the 5 or 6 things she can think of. And if you look back when she was planning what she was going to do with healthy eating, they were the same things. This isn't about the type of content she's making. It's about the food she wants to eat. See you guys in the next video. And before you comment, reread what I said. No need, honey, I can remember a paragraph. I said I take responsibility for the back and forth. I give a shit. I'm not blaming anyone. I give a shit. You are, in fact, blaming society and everyone watching you for putting you under pressure and making you want to conform, which is all horseshit, but you are, in fact, blaming people. But even if we take it as read, I'm not blaming on anyone. What do I care? I don't care who you're blaming. I care what the fuck you're doing. And what the fuck are you doing? I have the right to change my mind 1,000 times as it is my channel. Yes, you do. And I will react to every fucking one of them, as is the right on my channel. You don't have to follow me if it bothers you so much. I have a genuine question about that. Your core audience of supporters, how big are they? Because I'm guessing it's about, 5% of the total audience? If you say, let's be generous, between 5 and 10% core supporters will love you, support you, watch your ads, give you the views, give you the engagement, whatever you do. And let's say 5 to 10% utter trolls that are just there to tell you to go fuck yourself and that you're going to die. Let's say. So that leaves a solid 80% in the middle that are somewhere on the spectrum of where I am. Where we want to see you get healthier, we're frustrated, we support your health, but we don't support your mukbangs. Or we're on some variation of that line. Yeah? What are you actually gonna do if we stop? What are you gonna do? Let's look at you for a minute. Let's say, okay, everyone stops watching. You have no income. What's your plan B? The world economy is tanking because of COVID. Millions of people out of work that were in work. So you have to come up with another source of income. You have to get a job. Okay, let's for a minute say you would. Let's just play with that fantasy for a minute. So you've now got millions of people looking for a job at the same time of you in a bad economy. So that's already going to be a lot more difficult. When you bring qualification, when you come to the table, when you come to the interview, you bring your qualifications. You didn't complete your BA. So you don't have the qualifications to bring. Now, does every job require qualifications? No, it doesn't. Should every job require qualifications? No, they shouldn't. There is something to be said for experience, absolutely. So if you want an entry-level position because you don't have qualifications and you can't qualify for something higher, you don't have the physical capability to be on your feet. So that puts out restaurant work and retail work. Even if COVID weren't shutting those things down and lowering demand, you've got a huge portion of work positions that you cannot apply for because you physically couldn't do them. So then let's take maybe a job like Pete's has, assuming you got an interview for that, where you work at home, you're doing some kind of call center work or just a one-to-one thing, a job you could do from home. You then look at your work history. You have been off work for a long time. You could explain it. You could say, well, I was an influencer on social media, which people do nowadays. So then they go and check your videos. Really? I don't think you're going to do that. So then you go into an interview with an employment gap that you can't explain. That's immediately a red flag. Yeah? But say they're willing to ignore it. You then go on to say, okay, well, I don't have a degree, but I have experience in this. You were fired from your last job. You told us you were, or your last one, your medical job. You were fired. You don't have French because the doctor guy needed the French. For as much as you say you speak French, you told us when you were telling us the story of that job that you didn't have the French for the position you were put in. And you were fired. And you've admitted that. There are videos to it. So you don't have a great employment history. You don't get on with teams. You're a generally unpleasant person to be with. You're selectively social. So all of the things you would need, you don't have them. So when you're telling people, don't follow me if it bothers you so much, maybe be a bit less cavalier with your audience. Because honey, this goes tits up, you don't got a second chance. Okay, so that was the end of that. And then as I was gathering all the pictures for this, she uploaded again. And this is what she uploaded just now. And if more has come up in the last hour, because she looks like she's working up to a tantrum, I'll have to check, but it won't be in this video. I'll say it again for those in the back who clearly didn't hear my previous message. I said I'm going to keep weight-related matters off my channel from now on. What a surprise. Just as a weigh-in was due, I am shocked. This does not mean I will do fast food mukbangs. I am bringing a different energy to my video, and this is why I have taken some time away to organize my ideas and clear my mind. What different energy? You are the same person and you cannot hide it. People left me private messages right away asking if I've been binge eating, which is pretty sad. It is pretty sad, but I don't think in the way you're saying it. So what if I did? It's no secret that I struggle with this eating disorder. What's your point? Your point is you wrote a fucking novel in your comments, not your comments, in your community tab, talking about how you wanted to keep it off the channel, you've had a change of heart, and society is bitches to fat people, and didn't once mention that the reason, although we could see it, the reason that caused this might be because you couldn't stick to what you had planned to do. That is why they say it, and you know that. I know I've gone back and forth between weight loss and unhealthy mukbangs many times, but I really don't want any negative energy on my platform. Then you might want to get off your platform, because you are the source of your own negative energy. As much as this is perhaps not as positive as previous videos, you are the source of that. And both of those are negative to me and depressing. Yet seeing what you do to yourself and seeing that everyone else can see it would be depressing, but you are the only person in control of that. The weight loss material is such a bad idea for me to do publicly. Possibly. People leave me so many ridiculous comments, such as, "You binged again?" ? Which is pretty messed up, shaming someone for their eating disorder. Show me the shame in that phrase. "You binged again?" Again is perhaps a little bit sarky. That's a question, not a shaming. Here is an example of behavior you have done time and time again that you appear like clockwork to be doing again. You're binging, and then you get all defensive about how horrible the commenters are when they're asking a perhaps blunt but completely reasonable and warranted question given the circumstances. That is not shaming. Or say other negative things, something that is very personal, and it gets ridiculed all over the internet. Well, you put it on the internet, people are going to talk. People are ignorant and have such unrealistic expectations of obese people, food addicts, and those with eating disorders. The entirety of the expectation I had for you were the ones you set for us. And that was make an attempt to eat healthier and weigh in. And you have now failed at both. You say we're being unrealistic. We were holding you to the standard that you yourself created. If you feel it was unrealistic, how could you have lowered that bar in a way that still would have been productive for you? That's pretty much as low as it gets. I want to help my health. I'll eat a bit healthier and I'll check my weight to see that it's working. If you had preferred us to judge it in a different way, set different expectations, you're the one in control of that. Do you know how many people picked apart me eating a damn bagel with cream cheese and a glass of orange juice? I won't have that kind of crap on my channel. There are differing opinions on how you should be eating. That I will 100% grant you. I myself have gone back and forth on what plan I think perhaps would be the best for you, because sometimes what works for us does change in the moment. I've done low carb and I've done calorie counting, and right now calorie counting is working better for me. For me, at the very least, what I say to you is I would like to see X change. That is how I've discussed that. Do I think a bagel and a glass of orange juice is a good choice for me? No, I don't. But you made that choice, and as I said in my previous video, for you, I could see it as a workable thing. So if you are just here to be entertained by negative comments, you will be very disappointed. Honey, you're having a temper tantrum in your community channel. You think people who are here for that kind of stuff are going to be disappointed by this? They're going to be reveling in this. They're going to be rolling in it. If you want the real hardcore haters to shut up. Stop giving them material. Now, I said shh. Okay, rant's over for now. I'm only speaking my mind. I will see you guys soon. Thanks for listening. Okay, guys, the entirety of that struck me as a toddler having a tantrum. And that's why I've been so harsh with her today. I want what I want and I want to do it now. My overreaching message? Tough. If you also don't want to die, you can't do all the other things you want. And what gets me? Okay, when I was doing my A-levels at school, we went to London to visit some art galleries. And I think it was in the Hayward in London, the Museum of Modern Art. I think it was the Hayward, I might have the name wrong. There was a display, an exhibit that had 2 TV screens. And on one screen, it had a man in a suit jumping up and down, going quack, 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 quack. And on the other side, on a TV screen facing it, it had a jester jumping up and down, going no, 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 no. And it was essentially illustrating how both of those things took the same amount of effort. And I think about that when I look at her, when I look at her videos, when I look at how hard she works to wriggle out of the things she actually needs to do. Because if she put half the effort that she puts into not doing the thing, into trying to find an easy way to doing the thing, into actually addressing her health, she would have lost half her weight by now. But that's where we are, and that's where we always end up. So I'm going to see if she's going to have any more tantrums online today, and I wish you a good afternoon. I'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.